Hey everyone, just wanted to touch base with everybody and talk about a topic today that I get a lot of questions on. So the question is, how accurate can I expect a medium to be? And the short answer is, it depends on a lot of factors. So one is the actual medium themselves. So just to review, a medium is someone who, through psychic means, through senses outside of the five known physical senses, are able to communicate and receive information from spirits who have passed on into the next life, into the spirit world. So when people hear that I do that work, they often think, that I use tarot cards or Ouija boards, or oh my God, we must be doing something demonic. Nothing could be any further from the truth. It doesn't work like people think it does. It's not like the movie Ghost. So take the Hollywood piece out of it. As a medium, I think of my work more like being a language interpreter. Spirit is really putting their message intended for the client into one language. So Spirit tends to communicate with symbols, with memories that they had during their lifetime. They might communicate a name. They might communicate a date that was important to them. And so they relay all that information to me, and I feed it back to the client so that it's almost like a puzzle piece fitting together. So I've had clients, in the past, I give them one or two pieces of information that the spirit of their loved one will pass through, and they don't immediately recognize it. But then when I keep getting information from the spirit, it suddenly clicks. They're like, oh my gosh, I know who that is. And this has even happened to me once. I remember I took a training course in mediumship, and we were working in groups, and another student was giving me a reading, and I didn't know who the person was at first that they were connecting with. And so they kept giving me more information, and it was my dear friend Jeff that I lost many years ago. And Jeff was a devout Catholic. He thought that any spiritual practices outside of the Catholic Church, he did not believe in that. But Jeff came through during a reading, and I was so excited to hear from Jeff because I had only recently learned that Jeff had even passed away. But I think when we talk about the accuracy of a medium, I think a lot of it depends on a number of factors. It depends on, the abilities of the medium. How developed are they in their abilities? It can sometimes depend on the spirit. So some spirits are more communicative than maybe other ones are. If you had a relative or a friend in life who was maybe a little more on the introverted side, a little bit shy, they might not come through as much. Whereas somebody who is very, very talkative will be very likely to talk during a mediumship reading. And they're even finding, that mediumship, they're people who research a mediumship. There are scientific studies that are done. And they're finding, that most mediums can have an accuracy rate of upwards of 80% or more. Just depending on the abilities of the medium, depending on the spirit. I always tell my clients, when you schedule a reading with me, I don't want to know anything at all about your loved one. I don't want to see pictures. I don't want any of that information ahead of time, because I want Spirit to really prove to you that they do in fact continue onward. So people sometimes will even schedule with me and provide a false name, which is fine with me. The less I know about you or your loved one, the better. because I really want Spirit to come through and prove to you that they do in fact exist. That death is not the end. We actually all go on. Even those of us without any spiritual or religious practices, we go on to continued existence. I've even had, it's so funny. I get pets that come through during readings, and sometimes I don't see them as clearly. Sometimes I'll see them very, very clearly. But I've had pets that come through, cats, dogs, especially. I gave a reading really recently where the individual, I can't go into specifics, of course, but they were not so much identifying with the people I was telling them about, but when I mentioned their dogs, I mentioned 2 dogs, and they really seemed to grasp onto that, and that was very, very healing for them. As it turned out, the individuals who came through, I wasn't aware of this, during the reading, but this individual was talking with a relative during the reading, and so I think sometimes Spirit even comes through to talk to other people that we may be linked to. Spirits may have a message that is not intended directly for the client, but for someone they know. And so I mean, it can be a very, very powerful experience that I'd be happy to share with you or talk more with you about if you have any questions about the process. I'm actually going to be doing a few live readings with some individuals that I've never met before, and posting those here on YouTube, just so you can kind of see how the process works. But if you have any questions, feel free to visit me online at briansharpcounseling.com. There's a mediumship page there as well. So I always tell my mediumship clients and my counseling clients, I do not integrate the two. If you've ever seen me for counseling or plan to see me for counseling, I can't do mediumship with you, and vice versa. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about what a medium does, how they do it. Feel free to reach out to me there. And you can also schedule an appointment online. And I've also posted some blogs on my website. So have a look at those. It talks more about this topic and kind of how to, kind of what to expect from it. Because again, it doesn't work like we think it does. It doesn't work like Hollywood portrays it. It's not some dark, scary experience. Most people leave mediumship readings, feeling really healed, and profoundly so sometimes. But have a look, and be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. I'd be happy to know any comments you have. Feel free to post those as well. I look forward to meeting with you, and hope everyone has a good rest of their week. Bye for now.